morning, good morning, good morning, good morning, New Orleans, and welcome to the Good Morning Show. It is 7 a.m. I'm Will Sutton, and I am blessed that the Lord woke me up and blessed me with yet another day. His walk, His good earth. Planted my feet on the floor and made sure I got on over to this Black Talk radio station. Greeted at the door by Mr. Producer Gerard. He hasn't had a bell in a little bit. Let's give him a little bell. And followed shortly thereafter by Mr. Eddie Francis.
Good morning.
Good morning, good morning, good morning, good morning, good morning, good morning. So, how was the drive over?
Oh, it was dangerous.
Was it?
Yeah, it was dangerous.
Was that sister back out there again, or was it?
No, I didn't see her this time. I didn't see her this time. It was
Okay.
a bunch of people who just, they feel like it's not necessary to give the person in front of them space, and it was a line of about maybe 50 of them.
Oh!
And no, seriously, an accident almost happened in front of me. It almost happened. I was like, okay.
Not good.
All right.
Good.
It's going to be one of those mornings, but thankfully that did not happen. So, yeah, I'm here in one piece.
Yeah. Wow. Well, sorry you had to experience that, but
yeah, tailgaters suck.
Yeah, right. But glad you were able to make it in one piece. No damage to you and no damage to the vehicle. Huh?
Yeah, no damage to either one of us. We're fine.
All right, good. Well, of course, we always like to let you know what we experienced before we came in, so that as you consider going out, you have some idea of what's happening out there. Perhaps you pull up the shades or open the curtains, or if you don't do things like that, you see that there's some sunshine coming through your windows. So it's bright and sunny out there. It's about 80 degrees, but the feel like is closer to 90s, right there, about 87, 88. The way the day looks, it's going to be sunny for a bit until we get off air around 9 o'clock. Then it's going to start changing, and the clouds are going to come out. Then around 11 or so, there's going to be more clouds than sun, and then there's going to be some rain in parts of the greater New Orleans area, because like 31%.
Okay.
And then around 36%, then 32%. So that means you might get some of that and not me, or I get some of it and not you. So we'll see how that develops later on today. But our temps are going to be in the high 80s, and we'll probably get to 90 and then quickly go down because of the precipitation. And looking ahead to the weekend, we've got Friday is going to be about 89. Saturday is going to be about 89. Sunday is going to be about 86. However, looks like more rain, because Friday's going to be right around 60% chance of rain. More likely that both of us will have rain. And then on Saturday and Sunday, 82% of rain for precipitation, and 84 on Sunday. So looks like we're in for some showers and some rain and for some thunderstorms for the balance of the week, the weekend, and on into next week. So make sure you pack that rain umbrella. If you have a slicker or galoshes, you might want to wear them in wherever you might be going. And just be prepared. Be prepared. And of course, kiddos are, for the most part, out of school, but they are still out there. Might not be around schools, but they are around summer camps and day camps and NORD facilities, and they're at TT's house. They might be in your neighborhood at the neighborhood park. They might be in your driveway. So make sure you look out for them.
Yeah.
Because they could be anywhere these days this summer. All right. Well, we are looking forward to today for a number of reasons. There's quite a bit of news that has developed over the last couple of few days, including big deal and big signings for New Orleans East. So we should take a look at that. The mayor and city council leaders saying it's time to pivot and actually do something for real in New Orleans East.
Hmm.
So um, I'm excited about what they had to share. I want to make a point of saying that it's not like there's nothing going on in New Orleans East. There are a number of nice neighborhoods and businesses. It's tough in business wherever you are. We got centers, we got downtown and central business districts businesses closing, French Quarter businesses
Yeah.
closing, and then we got other ones opening up and saying, "But I can make mine work." So it's not as though New Orleans East is like dead man's territory or something. But with the idea of even more investment and even more focus on New Orleans East, of course, that could bring about more business, more jobs, and sounds like a good thing to me. We also have more drama with the Liz Murrow case because yesterday all 12 judges decided to recuse themselves from the case. So,
Hmm.
so that means there's nobody left in the criminal court to handle this Liz Murrow case. So they're going to have to get a judge from somewhere to take a look at that. And, the 11 of the judges essentially said, "I'm out, I'm out, I'm out." And it looks like there was a single form letter of sorts where all of them said, "I'm out, I'm out, I'm out, I'm out." However, one judge, Leon Roche,
Hmm.
also recused himself, and he did not use the same one-page letter. So he did multiple pages to explain his recusal. So we got to take a look at that, and so you'll know more about that as well. We also had developments related to that case because Jeff Landry immediately said that if this goes forward, it's essentially that it's nothing but a witch hunt, and that if anything comes of this, as quickly as the law allows, he will pardon the attorney general because he's not going to allow her reputation to be tarnished this way. Well, looks like that might not be so easy for the governor to just do that. So we'll take a look at that as well. And we've got quite a World Cup set of games going on. And there was big news from yesterday because Cape Verde, not a huge place, they play soccer or football there. But they didn't win, but they challenged Spain and got a draw, 0-0.
Okay.
Spain was expected to win and move on.
Okay.
Yeah.
Cabo
So,
Verde.
yeah. So that was some interesting news development with the World Cup. Of course, the U.S. is out, so we didn't make it beyond the quarters. But there's still plenty of World Cup soccer to go, and I'm sure some of you all will be looking out for that. And of course, if it's Thursday in the Good Morning Show, then it's time for none other than our very own Congressman Troy Carter. So we're looking forward to him joining us, and hopefully he'll give some perspective to this year's Essence Festival and his view of what's been going on, how things have developed, and some more about what's happening in Washington, D.C. Of course, as is so often the case, he wasn't planning to talk about what happened overnight because the U.S. struck Iran. Iran struck not the United States, but area countries. So the ceasefire seems to be crumbling.
What a surprise. What a surprise! I
So
can't believe it.
the parties agreed to a 60-day ceasefire in which they would proceed with negotiations. And just a short few weeks later, President of these United States talking bad about Iran's leaders, even using the word crazy.
Yeah.
It's like,
Wow. Imagine that.
I'm going to negotiate with you, but you crazy, you
Yeah. Yeah.
know.
Um. Yeah. So I mean, even when I mean, at this point, I mean, why even believe a word the man says in the first place? I mean, that's useless. That that ship has sailed.
And I think that's part of Iran's problem. It's like
Yeah.
we we can't believe anything you say.
Right. Exactly. I mean, if I'm Iran, I'm going. Okay, listen. It's very clear that you're a shyster. And it's very clear that you are not someone to be believed or trusted. And so, why are we even having these conversations? Why are we even having these meetings? And from I'm sure from Iran's point of view, they're also taking a look at who Trump is surrounded by, and is saying, "You're all a bunch of clowns. Every single one of you is a clown. Not one of you is even serious about what you're doing. So there's no reason for us to have even any conversations with you, because not one of you is serious. Not one of you is to be trusted. And at this point, your government is 10 times worse than ours." So, I can't see where any foreign power is even taking the US seriously at this point. I mean, I wouldn't. If I was a foreign power, there would be no way that I would take the US seriously. So, um yeah, when quote unquote news of the ceasefire negotiations happened, I honestly, I ignored it. I just ignored it. I'm going, okay, yeah, fine, and there's $1 million in my bank account. I mean, I couldn't take it seriously. Not even remotely seriously. And on top of all of that, all of the speculation that at this point, the person who is the president of the United States, all the speculation of dementia, and just the fact that he's a malignant narcissist in the first place. I mean, it is I don't know. It's really tiring, in my opinion. It's just really tiring to even try to follow what's happening. So, whatever Iran is doing, I'm not saying I'm for what they're doing,
Right,
but
right, right.
I most definitely can't blame them for saying you're not to be trusted, and we can't believe a word you're saying, and we don't think we're having a real conversation. And so, yeah, I think that's honestly, unfortunately, where we are right now. I think this is just one big show. And what's really frustrating to me is that people are losing their lives over this. That is the most frustrating part of the entire deal. So, I right now, my hope is for the service people to come home. That's any service people who are in that area. I just want them to come home at this point. And we just, all we can do is hope for the best. That's pretty much it.
Yeah, well, because of the outbreak of the war picking up again, no surprise overnight, gas prices started going up.
Yep. And there we have that. Yeah.
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 So,
Notice that on the way in. Yeah.
yeah, right.
I did notice that.
Yeah. So, when these things happen, the trickle down comes rather quickly from the oil and gas markets to the corporations to the corner mom and pop gas stations to the
Hmm.
convenience stores to the chain stores. Go ahead and change that price.
Yeah. Yeah.
So it went up overnight 5 cents. So wherever you were yesterday morning, yesterday afternoon, yesterday evening, getting some gas, it's probably going to be a different price as of this morning because we got more weaponry skirmishes
Yeah.
there.
Yeah, that is unfortunate. And I know that people right now are probably frustrated the absolute most with Congress. Because whereas I know there are Congress people who are doing their best, um, you know, you're just left to wonder. Okay, so what now? Because this entire time, Congress has been not silent, but they've been ineffective. And so now you're left to wonder, well, now what? What are we going to do now? Because this is just, it just, it's a mess. It's just one big mess. So we'll see where we go from there, I guess.
Well, while you're talking about the number of people killed, which is not injured,
Hmm.
killed, I looked it up, and we're more than 8,000, and that's the low end.
Hmm.
Other estimates say 18,000.
It's a pretty wide margin.
It is. It
Yeah.
is. So the that's just one website, because Military Spin, if you haven't looked at it, does close to real time updates, and they break it down so that you can see where they're getting the information from. So there are different types of reports, but let's go with the low figure.
Hmm.
Nearly 9,000 people.
Yeah. That I mean.
This was supposed to be a quick in and out. We're going to take these
Hmm.
few days. We're going to bomb you to smithereens. We're
Hmm.
going to take over your oil and gas. We're going to get rid of your top layer of leaders.
Hmm.
We'll make this as clean as possible. No need for ground troops, and this will be over.
Right. Right.
That didn't happen.
Yeah, that's what he promised.
Mm.
That's what he promised. And so here we are. I mean, 9,000 and this. Yeah, and you're right, that weird margin from 8 to 18,000. I mean, that is really troubling to me that the margin is that wide.
Hmm.
Um I mean, and why? Why is it that wide? That's a question I have about this. But yeah, he said it would be quick. It would be, which I did not believe. I the minute he said, I said, "Oh, it's not going to be quick. Anything." I really hate this, and I'm not trying to be snarky when I say this, but I really am to the point where anything that the president of the United States says, I'm going to believe the opposite.
Mm.
That is, and I'm not trying to be smart snarky, and not trying to be funny. That is my honest belief at this point. And what's even more frustrating is to hear people who are his supporters, or they claim to be were his supporters. Now they're saying, well, we didn't think this was going to happen. Why did you not think this was going to happen? And so um that is unfortunately the casualties that are being suffered. And I don't know what mainstream media outlets are doing. I have to wonder how the mainstream media outlets, the national outlets, are covering the casualties.
Hmm.
And so I'm not going to try to say that they are or they aren't, but I do wonder what they're doing in terms, because I think they would be doing the public a service by covering those casualties intently.
Well, that's what happened with the Vietnam War.
Yeah,
That's why so many people
yeah,
opposed it
yeah,
over the course of time. Once because national media, especially television, was giving the new totals every day,
yeah, yeah,
and it's like, oh, oh,
yeah.
oh. So some folks who thought it was the right thing, it's like, well, we're getting into the dozens, we're getting into the scores, we're getting into thousands.
Hmm.
Mm,
Yeah,
yeah,
yeah.
yeah. Because when you think it's your son or daughter, or mama so and so's nephew, and
Hmm.
you know these people, or you know the people who related to these people, all of a sudden becomes more real
Mm.
and has more impact. So I think you're onto something there
Well,
with the reporting, because I think we're hearing about the deaths and sometimes the injuries, but I don't think it's as intentional,
Right.
you
Yeah.
know, to make us think.
Hmm.
So just as there's reporting about the attacks last night, I wouldn't expect there to be a injury or death report at the same time as
Hmm.
there's news coverage of the attacks. But how about in a couple of days
Hmm. Hmm. Yeah.
to know, okay, well, what's the result of that? And if the case is that it was a military facility that was bombed to smithereens, but the nation had time and notice, and nobody was there, tell us that.
Yeah.
Yeah,
Yeah.
nobody was hurt, nobody was killed because they evacuated. Now the building's gone, but
Hmm.
so let us know that.
Hmm.
I'd rather know that. But if people were hurt, injured, especially if they're our people, then we should know that.
Yeah.
We
Yeah.
should know that for sure. For sure. Yep. So, well, we're going to be looking forward to more news and information during the Good Morning Show. Of course, we had Patrick Wall on yesterday from the Times-Picayune, NOLA.com, the education editor, talking about the LEAP scores. Well, there's some more information that he has dug up, so I hope we'll have time to get to that as well. But right now, we're going to go on and take a break because it's that time. I'm Will Sutton in conversation with Eddie Francis. It's 7:22 a.m. You got somewhere to be at 7:30. You got about 8 minutes to get there, so I hope you're on your way. But please take care of your personal business at home. No need to do that in the car. You just go ahead and take care of it at home and get out there. Be a safe driver, defensive driver. Look out for the crazy ones. Don't be one. And watch where you're going so you and the other folks can get where you are going. Eddie Francis, what's that talk line number for folks who might want to give us a ring?
It is 504-582-9422, 504-582-9422.
This is WBOK, 12:30 a.m. What New Orleans is talking about.
All day long.
Good Thursday morning. I'm Daryl Forges with WDSU News, and here's your headlines. Indictment on pause. The standoff between Orleans Parish and the Attorney General drags on after Wednesday's scheduled arraignment was postponed. She's charged with 16 felony counts of malfeasance in office and intimidation, stemming from letters she sent in May to several New Orleans leaders involved in the clerk of court decision. All criminal court judges chose to recuse themselves from the case. This comes after the Louisiana Supreme Court granted an emergency stay in the case. A piece of jewelry is now at the forefront of the federal government's case against former Mayor LaToya Cantrell. A gold ring is claimed to have been a gift to Cantrell from former cop and bodyguard Jeffrey Vappy. Cantrell and Vappy were indicted last year on numerous charges, including conspiracy, wire fraud, and obstruction. The trial is set to begin on March of next year. And there's increased scrutiny surrounding the death investigation of Nolan Wells. The Mississippi college player was found dead on Horn Island, Mississippi Monday morning after a 4th of July outing with friends. The Jackson County Sheriff's Office says that his friends left and claimed Nolan wanted to stay behind. The Cajun Navy helped in search efforts and say there's a lot of questions into Nolan's death. A local judge in the area, Ashley Cole, posted a statement on social media. She claims her son, Warren, was one of the friends with Nolan that day and that he is fully cooperating with investigators. Meantime, the Wells family is retaining civil rights attorney Benjamin Crump. I'm Daryl Forges.
Hey, this is Dave Poston. Be sure to listen to WBOK 12:30 a.m. every Saturday morning at 10 a.m. and Sunday evening at 5 p.m., bringing you the best Southern Soul barroom music with the Southern Soul Weekend Party Mix, hosted by me, of course. I'll be playing your favorite Southern Soul music by artists from all over the South, right here on WBOK 12:30 a.m. or online at WBOK1230.com. The station you listen to longer. Listen to longer. Listen to longer.
Life has a way of shifting priorities, changing needs, and pivoting plans. Home Bank is there for all of them. Their bankers partner with you for every step along the way, from understanding your needs to celebrating your success. Home Bank is invested in the vibrant spirit of our community and in you. So partner with them. Stop on by any banking center in the greater New Orleans area or visit home24bank.com to get started today. Good for business, good for life. Home Bank, a member of the FDIC.
Did you hear the news? Dr. Clark's 101 The Living Classroom has a new time. Catch us now every Wednesday at noon. Same program, same great conversations. Just a new time. So catch Dr. Clark's 101 The Living Classroom this Wednesday and every Wednesday only on WBOK. What New Orleans is talking about.
Throughout July, Louisiana residents get half off general admission to the National World War II Museum. Take advantage of 50% off and beat the summer heat at New Orleans' #1 attraction. Don't wait. Plan your visit at nationalww2museum.org.
Well, Saints of God, this is Pastor David Impartan Sr. coming to you over the airways of WBOK, your favorite host of Change Your Water, Change Your Mind. I want to invite you to our show every Saturday from 1 o'clock to 2 o'clock p.m. That's Change Your Water, Change Your Mind. I want you to invite your family and friends to a broadcast that's designed to change your life, the way you think, the way you act, and what you eat. We want you to tune in every Saturday at 1 o'clock, WBOK, 12:30 a.m. See you on Saturday.
Transform your bathroom with the beautiful quality of Bath Planet. As a trusted leader in bathroom renovation, Bath Planet has earned the Good Housekeeping seal, a symbol of quality and consumer confidence for over 100 years. Get half off installation or 18 months with no interest and no payments. Whether it's tub replacement, a shower replacement, or a tub-to-shower conversion, Bath Planet makes your custom bath fast, easy, and affordable. Here's how it works. 1. Call to schedule your free, no-obligation consultation. 2. Our design experts come to you with real samples to customize your dream bath. 3. Our certified installers complete the transformation in as little as 1 day. And right now, for a limited time, you can upgrade your bathroom for 50% off installation or choose 18 months with no interest and no payments. But you need to call now. This special offer is only available by calling 800-981-8177. That's 800-981-8177. Call 800-981-8177 right now before the offer ends.
This is your news update for WBOK from WDSU. For all your news and weather, watch WDSU News, New Orleans' leader in live, local, late-breaking news. Today at noon and 4 p.m.
It's another warm and humid day across southeast Louisiana with highs climbing to the low 90s. Heat indices feeling warmer than that, 100 degrees plus. Thunderstorms are possible this afternoon, a 50% chance of seeing that rain and thunder. It doesn't mean we don't know, it means half of our viewing area will see the rain. Keep that rain jacket and umbrella handy. The same story is in place for tomorrow with higher rain chances this weekend and the beginning of the work week. With your WDSU First Warning Weather Forecast, I'm meteorologist Jordan West.
Good morning, wake up.
The Good Morning Show. Good morning. On WBOK.
Good morning, good morning, good morning, good morning, New Orleans, and welcome back to the Good Morning Show. If you've been in tune with us since 702, 704, 706, 1012, whatever time you tuned in, thank you for continuing to stick and stay with us at 729. Got somewhere to be at 7:30. I hope you can slide on over to the other side of the bed and fire up that laptop. I'm Will Sutton. I'm here with Eddie Francis. And if it's Thursday, you know what that means. We're welcoming none other than our very own Congressman Troy Carter. Good morning, sir. How are you?
Good morning, fine gentlemen. How are you today, Brother Eddie? How are you, Brother Will?
Fabulous,
Doing well.
Fabulous. Well,
Fantastic.
you've had a busy stretch of a few days, but we have a development overnight I wanted to get you to weigh in on because we had a announced ceasefire for 60 days, but Mr. President says that's over, and now we have the U.S. attacking Iran and Iran attacking others. What are we doing?
The president is once again taking America and Americans into harm's way by a war that he, in his mind, created without approval or consent or discussion with Congress as the Constitution provides. And we continue to see the offshoot of that. We see gas prices skyrocketing. We see not peace in the Middle East, but we see further unrest. We see soldiers put in harm's way. We see our economy a challenge. It's a mess, and there's no other way to look at it other than a president who thinks he knows foreign policy, but he doesn't. And world leaders, particularly our ordinary allies, are very fearful of what all this means for the national order of things.
Yeah. So this just seems to be a projected situation.
Well, from a president who says that he's going to, on day one, bring the price of household goods down, the price of milk, eggs, and rice down, the price of gasoline down. I don't need to tell you that all those things are exponentially higher. Also, a president said that he would prevent America from being in war. Criticized that if Kamala Harris had become president, we would be in war with Iran on day one. Well, looks like everything that he said, he did the flip on. He is the one that's brought us into war. He is the one that caused our economy to tank. He is the one that caused prices to go up. He's the one who's taking health care away from the American people. At some point, you must ask the question, I mean, is this guy a kamikaze pilot? Is he really here to crash and burn America?
Well, one of the things that happened from these latest attacks, no surprise, is overnight gas prices have increased by a nickel. And so now we have gas prices, the new average is $3.84 per gallon for the national average. And over in California, it's about $5.35. They always have higher prices, but they don't like to get into the $5 and $6 range. And we don't like to get into the $3, $3.50, and $4 range. So this is immediately having an impact on pocketbooks in your district and elsewhere.
Well, it's going to continue to get worse, I'm afraid. The instability that this president and his advisors bring to this discussion is damaging across the entire country, across the entire world, because no one knows what Donald Trump will do next. Our economy benefits from stability. Our NATO partners and our partners on all parts of the discussion benefit from stability. A president that has a word, a president that understands foreign policy, which is difficult. You're dealing with Iran. You know, it's an evil regime. There's no question. And the bravado, the bluff, take it back, bluff, take it back, bluff, take it back, is the worst thing you can do, because each time you make a bluff, you diminish your standing. And these guys are laughing. And the last thing you want to have is America, the laughing stock of the world.
Well, one of his objectives was to have a quick in and out and put Iran in its place. Another was to take out the top leadership, which for the most part seems to have been done, but certainly it wasn't quick, and to reset the oil and gas, and that certainly has not been set. And looks like they were quite surprised by the Iranians' control of Strait of Hormuz.
Well, we weakened our position in the Strait of Hormuz by, again, threatening to do something that we hadn't thought out. And now what you've essentially done is given Iran a stronger hold on the control of the strait. Now they understand even better than what they used to how much they hold in that regard. We've given them a chance to practice and to test. and now we're in a worse position than we were. President Trump thought it was going to be easy to just throw out the peace deal that was done and negotiated by President Obama, and then come in and supplant it with his, except he didn't think it out. War requires thought, strategy, not only a way in, but a way out. You've got to contemplate all of the moving parts, and you can't go it alone. This is not ping pong. This is not a single player sport. You've got to go in with your partners in place. You've got to go in with a very precise plan. You've got to do the scenarios of if this, then that, so you know what to do, how to play. If the unthinkable happens, you've got to anticipate all of those things. This president didn't do that. He just created a knee-jerk reaction and just went in head first like a cowboy. Well, this isn't Rambo, man. This isn't Rambo. These are real American lives, and there are real ramifications to your reckless actions, and we're seeing that manifest itself.
Well, there are a lot of things that have happened and a lot of things going on, including continuation of redistricting efforts and Supreme Court rulings. And a number of those things and others meant that you participated with the National Urban League and some other black elected officials while you all were in town for some of the Essence Fest, and that happened during the 4th of July. And what is it that you all discussed, and why was it necessary to have everybody come together?
Well, first of all, a huge shout out, kudos to the National Urban League for partnering with us to make this meeting possible, to bring together existing and former elected officials to talk about the attack on African American leadership, to talk about the attack on our voting rights, to talk about the things that we see unfolding in our country and also in our state, where we watch Calvin Duncan, duly elected clerk of court, and then have his seat taken away from him, to watch members of the bench, judges, at a time when we are seeing reductions in crime, to reduce judges on the criminal bench, criminal judgeships, when we see prosecutions doing what they're supposed to do, and that is locking up bad guys and making sure that they're not locking up people who are innocent. We don't need fewer DAs. We need more DAs. This governor took away essentially 10 DAs, which, is a significant blow to the DA, district attorney's operation. So we're watching these attacks on the city of New Orleans, on African American leadership, on the Voting Rights Act, on the reduction in our congressional footprint for African Americans in Louisiana. And so this emergency summit was an opportunity to come together with the elected and former elected leaders to continue to develop plans of action, to organize, galvanize, to get people to the voting polls, to have a strategy on how we address these issues. We're not going to just sit back and kick rocks or be angry about it. We're going to do something. And that's what this meeting it was about and will continue to be about, and that is to organize our entire state, hear the tangible outcomes, organization, working with all of our stakeholders in the community. There is a place and a role for every single person to play a significant role in this operation of organizing, voting, educating, and sending messages to everyone, not just in word, but in deed, that we're not going to sit back and let Donald Trump, the governor, anybody else take away our rights. So this opportunity to come together was a speaking and listening session to develop strategies on how to continue to build on voter turnout, voter education, voter registration. We know that we consistently see, unfortunately, dismal turnouts in elections. Dismal turnouts, 20, 25%, leaves us with, 80, 75% of people that didn't vote. When we vote, we win. And the reverse is also true. We continue to lose ground because somehow we have the notion that a vote won't matter. But as I always say, when you don't vote, you just voted for the worst person on the ballot. And for people who didn't vote in the presidential election, you voted for Trump. I mean, that's the bottom line. And here's a president who told you exactly what he was going to do to you. They laid out Project 2025. They didn't hide it in the dark. And now they have been singularly, one by one, implementing page by page, parcel by parcel of Project 2025. Midterms are just around the corner. We take over midterms. We have an opportunity to start at least stopping the bleed of the effects of the big, ugly law that will strip away 17 million people's health care. That's ridiculous. It's unconscionable. But this is what this guy is doing, attempting to strip away our education department, remove environmental justice gains that we've made so people can breathe clean air and drink clean water. But it all comes back to voting. And so our effort to bring everyone together is a recognition that this is a all hands on deck time, and we need everyone involved.
So to have Mark Morial and you there was a powerful picture. But then there were others. I mean, it was like quite a gathering of folks, impactful folks, people who have really strong reputations, people who have done a lot and continue to do a lot. If you can give WBOK family of listeners an idea of who some of your colleagues in the summit were that morning.
Sure, I will tell you, there was Cleo Fields, my friend and colleague, member of Congress from Baton Rouge, was there. Of course, Mark Morial, myself, former Congressman Bill Jefferson, former Mayor Sidney Bartholomew, Kyle Green, state legislator, Byron Lee, councilman from Baton Rouge, former Supreme Court Justice Burnett Johnson, Irma Muse Dixon, Renee Gill Pratt. We had the chair, the new chair of the Legislative Black Caucus, Candace Newell. We had the former chair of the Legislative Black Caucus, Edmund Jordan. We had new Senator Sidney Bartholomew III. We had Royce Duplessis. We had a number of members from C. Denise Marcel from Baton Rouge. We had a very strong gathering of current and present with Jason Hughes, a strong presence of present leadership, but we also had a strong presence of former leaders because, our former leaders have paid an ultimate price and have served and still have a great deal of institutional knowledge to loan to this movement, and it is in fact a movement. It's not a one and done. It's not a just react to the moment, but it's react and proactive actions to continue to build forward, because we know that these actions from the Trump administration, these actions from the governor and others across our country who seem to be a part of a mission that dilutes and distracts our upward mobility, is not going to stop. And it didn't just start. There's been a very careful plan to come after progress. And we have to be equally as well adroit and studied and prepared to defend it. It can't be a one and done. And so I can't emphasize enough the importance of us all recognizing that there's a jersey for everyone to be a part of the team of fighting back against this attempt that we see across the board of trying to divide and conquer us, even with the notion that somehow because we're getting different Democrats elected who have different ideas or philosophies, that there's going to be a battle within the party. We've got to reject that foolishness. Anyone who comes into the Democratic Party and they've got, regardless of what their background, they've got bold ideas. They're left, center left, whatever. Man, we all have a responsibility to work together. And we all want to have these wars where we're wasting lives and taxpayers' dollars ended. We all want to see equal pay for women and a true living wage. We all want environmental justice. We all want to have the kind of opportunities where people are not starving, where people have health care and have an economy that works for them, safety in their communities. These are issues that are not unique to any one part of the party, but every one of us. And new members that bring great, bold ideas, let's take them all in. Let's work together. Let's demonstrate the importance of having a unified party and not allowing anybody to suggest or to create divisions.
All right.
We're not a monolith. We have different ideas, and that's a good thing.
All right, we're going to go to the phone line. Good morning, Aaron. You're on Will Sudden, Eddie Francis, and Congressman Troy Carter.
Good morning. How y'all doing? Can y'all hear me?
Fabulous.
Yep.
Good morning, brother.
Yeah, you're right. Good morning, Grand Rise. You know, first shouts out to the Fatherhood Roundtable as well as the Hillsview Newton Gun Club. When you talk about the fight, you know, I believe these people, they sit up there and play with y'all in the manner they do because they saw, you know, how y'all lack of fighting when it came down to the Ronald Green situation, right? And by y'all not stepping up and doing what y'all needed to do and just allowing that to go on like that, I mean, you know, that's why they take and do the things what they do and play with y'all how they play. Also, when it comes down to St. James Parish, you know, we all know the nickname what they call that Cancer Alley. So where's the leaders when it comes to local issues, right? And we see what's going on right here in New Orleans. So we keep on hearing the thing about, you know, when we vote, we win, things like that. But some of us, including myself, are voting, but yet we're not seeing the residual income from our vote. And I don't want you to think like this no personal attack against you, Congressman. But what I'm saying is that where the fight needs to be at, the fight needs to be in those rooms when it's just some of y'all and those your other counterparts that we don't know about inside those meetings when those compromising deals begin to take place. Because if we really being honest, that's one of the reasons why we can't really get the necessary things in our communities that we need to get, because some of these backroom deals that's constantly being made, and that's why we can't move forward. And I'm going to stop right there.
All right, Lord's blessings. Thanks for calling, and have a great day. Congressman?
Brother, I hear you. I feel your frustration. And just know this. Some of us in those rooms, we're fighting our asses off. Some of us in those rooms, I will tell you, a day doesn't go by that I'm not swinging, that I'm not fighting, that I'm not pushing. And there are a whole bunch like me. I'm not suggesting I'm the only one, because there's a whole lot of us on the local, federal, and state level. Unfortunately, just a lot more of them than there are of me and us. And that's why we got to continue to increase our numbers. You know, we find ourselves in a situation where we're losing ground because there are more of them than us. And I hear everything he says, man, and I feel your frustration and pain, and I share it. But I will tell you, and I know that's not what you want to hear, but the antidote is increase our numbers. We got to increase our numbers. You know, we're fighting with toothpicks, and they've got bazookas. But we're not running. We're taking our toothpicks and poking them in their eyes. Imagine if we had more people with us, or if we had more numbers. We can do even more. When you are operating with fewer tools, fewer resources, fewer people, fewer votes than the opposition, it's going to be a challenge. Any war that's lopsided is going to have a lopsided outcome. The difference here is that we might have a smaller army, but we've got a very vigilant and brave army of soldiers, and that's why we're constantly enlisting more to be a part of the plan to push back, to fight back. And no matter how outnumbered we are, one thing is for certain: we aren't ever going to quit. We aren't ever going to bow down.
All right, we got another phone call, talk line. You're on with Will Sutton, Eddie Francis, and Congressman Troy Carter, Reverend Calhoun.
Good morning.
Good morning.
I got a quick question, Congressman. Do you think it is a conspiracy to make this justice system in New Orleans fail by removing elected officials, by trying to get this fight between people within the community to fight one another, to take away money? Do you see any kind of strategic plan being applied from the state administration to make the justice system fail? If, as I see it, every component looks like is under attack. The governor has actually said that even if the attorney general is indicted and convicted, he's going to pardon her. So it does not seem like that they're here to help the city. It seems to me like there is a conspiracy to tear it down. So I'll just hear what you have to say concerning the attack that I feel is on New Orleans.
All right. Lord's blessings.
All right,
Thanks for calling, Reverend Calhoun. Congressman?
Well, thank you once again, Reverend Calhoun, for calling in. I will tell you, our community is not foreign to people trying to undermine and set us up against each other. We can go back to the 60s when the FBI and the Black Panthers and the conspiracies that caused dissension within the African American community that were planted. So we know that conspiracies and to work and to infiltrate our communities is real. We know that there's been a us against them mentality between Baton Rouge and New Orleans. And there's always been this hate, jealousy, or whatever about the city of New Orleans, which is ridiculous because the city of New Orleans is the epicenter of our state. It is the economic engine for the entire state. The sales tax revenues that are derived from the city of New Orleans don't stay in the city of New Orleans. They fuel the entire state of Louisiana. Yet we continuously see this, the stumbling blocks that come from Baton Rouge as it relates to the progress of New Orleans. And we see it now on steroids. Yeah, there's an attack on New Orleans. You can't say you want to see criminal justice carried out. You can't say that you want to have safe communities when you attack our judicial system. You can't say that you want fair and just elections when you undo an election that was fair and just in the case of Calvin Duncan. You can't say that you want communities that are safe when you strip the district attorney of needed funding in order to have good prosecutions. You can't say you care about New Orleans when you veto literally millions and millions of dollars of programming that go toward the city of New Orleans and communities. So yeah, this is not just something to sit around and gossip about. This is real. It's tangible. You can see it. You can do the math. You can do the math on the stranglehold and the withholding of resources from the city, and ask yourself why. What are you doing? And the answer, I think, comes down, just like I say about President Trump. You're trying to reverse the script. You're trying to change the narrative from progress to demise. You can't look at a system where crime is going down and then say we're going to reduce your resources so you can't continue to have crime going down. It doesn't take a rocket scientist to say if you shut down criminal district court judges, if you take away district attorneys, if you take away resources to combat crime, that's not going to make crime go down. So what's your real mission? What are you trying to accomplish? You want to take over the city? You want to take over the country? You want to take away the power of the people who were duly elected and create some kind of dictatorship with you at the head of the ticket? Well, that's why we cannot sit back and we cannot allow people to pit us against each other with being angry because progress isn't coming as fast as we like. One thing is for certain, if we do nothing, progress will go backwards. If we do nothing but fight to hold on to what we have, that's better than letting them go backwards. We're going to continue to fight for forward progress. We're going to continue to fight for safety, community, economic opportunity, protection of our communities. But that is not an easy battle, and there's no easy solution to it. We've got to stay awake. We've got to be vigilant. We've got to pay attention. We've got to be ever present, and we got to vote.
Congressman, I know you have just a few more minutes. I wanted to get your take on the Essence Festival. You were in and around, saw you several times and made it over to the summit. But how was this Essence Festival for you? And of course, this was the last Essence Festival under the current agreement, and that agreement expires in September. How was your Essence Festival experience, and what do you want us to think about?
I think Essence was fantastic. I mean, listen, and I have not gotten granular, but I will tell you from my experience, and I served on multiple panels and discussions and enjoyed the concerts and was all around town with almost every aspect. And, concerts were on time. For the most part, as much as a concert could be on time. You didn't have the long delays that you've had in the past. Sounds like and looks like Essence heard the complaints and they did something about it. And I will tell you, dollar for dollar, even with the hiccups of the last few years, Essence is a winner for the city of New Orleans and the state of Louisiana. And like we invest in the Sugar Bowl, Super Bowl, the myriad of conferences that come here every year, Final Four, other concerts and other activities and other festivals that fill our hotel rooms and fill our restaurants and fill our fiscal coffers with sales tax dollars. We have to invest. Listen, the slide that Essence started seeing is commensurate with the reduction of resources that the state presented. When you stop giving the financial inducements that help these large-scale investments produce, you start to see what happens. Listen, if we're going to invest in every other thing that comes here, we invest in companies to bring their businesses here. Essence brings significant economic power to our local community, to our state community, to every single parish in the state of Louisiana. I think Essence was fantastic. Like any large-scale operation, there's always room for improvement. But from a cultural standpoint, an entertaining standpoint, an economic development standpoint, an empowerment standpoint, a significant entity for the city of New Orleans and the state of Louisiana, we've got to do everything in our power to pony up, to make the investment in making sure that they stay and that we have a long-term commitment. Atlanta, Chicago, Houston would all love to have Essence Festival. We can't be short-sighted. We have to have a vision, and our vision has to be not letting Essence leave this community at a time when the city of New Orleans needs the resources more than ever, and the importance of cultural recognition of what Essence means to our community in a multiracial, multicultural way. I thought Essence was great. There's always going to be issues that need to be tweaked, but tell me when there hasn't been. Tell me what event goes off that doesn't have issues. The most important thing is issues that were brought to Essence attention, by and large, appear to have been addressed. I don't know if they're 100% correct in every single way, but I don't know anything that is. I know this. The state of Louisiana made a whole lot of money because Essence was here. And you cannot reap what you don't sow. And we have to sow our seed into Essence to make sure that they have the resources they need so we can continue to enjoy the sales taxes that it provides for our communities.
All right. We're at the end of the time. I know you got some other things to do, but I do want to give you a moment to speak to the legacy of State Senator Larry Selders. I saw your comment, but since you are here with the WBOK family of listeners, I'd like to hear your thoughts.
Larry Selders, Senator Larry Selders, an outstanding young man, just 44 years old. I served with Larry when I was in the state Senate and he was in the state House. Of course, later he elevated to the state Senate. A gentle giant. I mean, really, just to know him is to have known a friend, because that's the kind of guy he was. Just a very pleasant, sweet spirit, a dedicated leader, a husband, a father, 2 beautiful sons, a beautiful wife he leaves behind. I saw him just Thursday night at our kickoff, pre-Essence kickoff party. And I said, man, you need to slow it down. He said, I'm slow. I'm being slow, Congressman. I just wanted to get some fresh air. My doctor said, it's okay. I said, well, God bless you, brother. Take your time. Be safe. We need you. That's the last words I had with him. He's a good man. He'll be sorely missed. He was a great legislator, great father, great leader. And his legacy will live on through the rest of us who are left behind. We can all take a page from his book. He was a serious legislator. He was a strong family man, strong leader, but he was just a good human being. Right. You know, he was a good human being. So prayers out to his wife, his children, his family, to all who knew and loved him. Let's continue to the work that he's done in the greater Baton Rouge area and throughout the state and country. We need more Larry Selders.
All right, Congressman. There were a number of other people who wanted to talk to you this morning, but I thought it was really important that you answer the questions that were asked and give you time to talk about the state of the nation. So my guess is that some of them will call at another point during the show, and I know sometimes some of your team have a chance to listen in. But thank you so much for the time that you have provided to the Good Morning Show, and thank you for your work.
God bless you, my friend. God bless you both. God bless WBOK. God bless the listening audience. Have a fantastic week. Look out for each other.
Have a great day.
Have a good one.
All right, folks. Good conversation with Congressman Troy Carter. I know there were others who wanted to get in. Congressman has graciously provided us with the time that he did, but he needed to go. We'll get your calls in before we go if we can, so don't be disappointed. We'll do what we can to get you in, so don't give up. Look, we got to go to a break. I'm Will Sutton, on with Eddie Francis. We just wrapped up conversation with Congressman Troy Carter. After the break, we're going to hear from Haley Miller from the Times-Picayune, NOLA.com, The Advocate, and she did some reporting on what's happening at LSU with some cuts and elimination. And let's find out what she found out. What's the purpose of this? There's even the letters DEI associated with this report. That'll be right after the break. Eddie, what's that call-in number for those who want to get in?
It is 504-582-9422, 504-582-9422.
All right, this is WBOK 1230 AM, what New Orleans is talking about all day long.
Psst, come close. No, closer. Have you heard about the new blues show? It's the Blues Buffet with Jay Boogie, serving up all the blues you love to listen to.
Hey, New Orleans, it's Jay Boogie inviting you to join me for the Blues Buffet, the best soul blues mix on the planet. Happening Saturday night at 9 o'clock, right here at 12:30 a.m. WBOK, what New Orleans is talking about.
Greetings and salutations. I am Elwood B. Coulon Smith, chairman of the board of the New Orleans Regional Black Chamber of Commerce. We'd like to invite you to tune in every Wednesday at 12 noon on WBOK to listen in on Black to Business and be a part of the movement that's going on. Thank you.
WBOK is pleased to announce the reboot of Crosstown Conversations with host Gene Nathan, a heightened focus on cultural entertainment events and the creators who present them. The new time is now Saturday at noon. Tune into the stories of our exploding creative scene with Gene Nathan on Crosstown Conversations.
This is Andronica Morris, host of Put Housing First. Join us every Tuesday at 12 o'clock, where we will discuss how housing affects every aspect of our lives and what's necessary, what's needed to guarantee housing for all. Join us every Tuesday at 12 o'clock as we dig down deep onto the issues that affect all of us.
Climate Hope NOLA presents this month's climate keyword, adaptation. Climate adaptation means preparing our communities for stronger storms, hotter days, flooding, and rising water. That means planting trees, restoring wetlands, protecting homes, and helping families recover stronger after disasters. In New Orleans, resilience is part of who we are and how we survive. Learn more, stay informed, and take action with Climate Hope NOLA. Visit Team Hope NOLA on Instagram to learn more.
WBOK New Orleans, home of the Good Morning Show, 7 to 9 a.m. weekdays.
I'm Bree Wood with BIN News Now. The mother of Black 7-year-old Jordan Duncan has filed a $250 million claim against Suffolk County and a Long Island school district. Here's Portia Duncan.
It's not a day that goes by that I don't cry, that I don't think about my daughter, that I don't fault myself.
The lawsuit alleges child welfare agencies and school officials failed to protect Jordan from months of abuse before her death, despite warning signs including chronic absences from school. A crowd gathered in Minnesota to honor Philando Castile on the 10th anniversary of his death. More than 100 people attended a candlelight vigil where his mother urged continued civic engagement. Organizers say a scholarship fund established in Castile's memory has awarded $300,000 to 11 Black students. And Kyle Lowry is retiring as a Toronto Raptor. The six-time All-Star signed a one-day contract to end his 20-year NBA career with the team he led to its first championship in 2019. Get BIN News Now on demand 24/7 on the iHeartRadio app.
Good morning, wake up. The Good Morning Show. Good morning. On WBOK.
Good morning, good morning, good morning, good morning, New Orleans, and welcome back to the Good Morning Show. I'm Will Sutton. I'm here with Eddie Francis, and of course, on the other side of the glass, we've got producer Jared Broad. So we are jumping into conversation with Haley Miller, my colleague from The Advocate, Times-Picayune, NOLA.com. And she's been following LSU as she does, and thought it would be good for us to talk about one of her latest stories, because LSU has laid off, gotten rid of about 25 people, and some of those people have been responsible for engagement, an office previously known for DEI. And Haley, good morning and welcome to the Good Morning Show. Good morning and welcome to the Good Morning Show, Haley.
Happy to be here.
Good. So tell us a little bit about what you found and what these developments look like with LSU system and campus.
Yeah, so this is all really part of LSU's push to become a top 50 research university. They're saying they're eliminating 25 positions in central offices at the flagship campus in Baton Rouge, including positions in the engagement office, which was formerly DEI, as you mentioned. And this is about streamlining operations, President Wade Roos says, so that they can hire additional faculty at each campus and get them closer to the amount of money they need to be spending to be in that top 50 ranking of research universities across the United States.
So, if I'm understanding you accurately, they're not going to do without the 25 positions. They're going to do without the people in those 25 positions and reallocate those positions to research?
Yes, what they're saying is that some of those positions, their efforts were being duplicated across the system, and those duties could be assigned to other roles. So, for example, responsibilities that were handled by the engagement office will be moving over to student affairs. And then the money saved from those positions, which numbers about $3.7 million, as reported by the Louisiana Illuminator, will go toward faculty and research.
All right.
So Haley, Eddie Francis here. When we take a look at LSU is where they stand right now, where do they stand as an R1 in the country?
Well, currently they're ranked 83rd in the National Science Foundation Higher Education Research and Development Survey, and they're trying to reach within that top 50 ranking.
That's a big leap.
I was about to say that is a really big leap. So, did they give any indication about why that is so important to them?
Yes, so the Board of Supervisors has identified this as a goal that will get LSU more research grants, but it's also an intangible goal about elevating their academic prestige and transforming into an academic powerhouse more along the lines of the University of Florida or Texas A&M. They've made this a very clear goal that they want to elevate their academics and their academic reputation so that they're not only known for athletics.
I'm sorry. I didn't mean to snicker. All right.
So, Haley, one of the things that the new president, system leader, talked about some time ago was this very thing. And it seems to me that one of the ways to raise that profile and increase the dollar amount is the restructuring that the board approved to group some of the major research entities under the LSU flag, but to group them together rather than have them separate. How are they going about that, and what difference will that make?
Yes, so the HERD survey, in which they're trying to reach the top 50 ranking, is all about dollars and cents. So they are combining the research dollars of the flagship campus, the Pennington Biomedical Research Center, the LSU Ag Center, and the two health science centers in Shreveport and New Orleans. So they can count all of the amount expended on research between those campuses together, treating them functionally as a singular research entity for this survey.
Okay. So how would these individual centers, the LSU Ag Center, the Biomedical Research Center, the Shreveport folks in research, how do they feel about being put in a group? So all of that effort and all that research and so all of that dollar amount, which they had to have a primary responsibility for, going into one group so that they can move up on the list.
Yeah, there's definitely been some concern among these other campuses about if they're going to lose regional autonomy. All of them now report directly to Chancellor Jim Dalton on the main campus. It also stirs up some old feelings of resentment about is that flagship campus in Baton Rouge being prioritized over particularly Shreveport, being 3.5 hours away. It's more difficult for them to advocate for themselves, and they're inherently a little bit more suspicious of moves like this.
But I've got to, Haley, I've got to think though that this might cause some concern for New Orleans now, because now we have LSU New Orleans. There was I did catch a piece in the Illuminator by Piper Hutchinson about their concern about losing some of their research or losing their research status. So has did you get an indication of how LSU New Orleans is being positioned in this conversation?
Yeah, I think there's definitely that issue in New Orleans as well. They've been separate from the LSU campus for a while, so being integrated in, they have a very different identity than the rest of the LSU system. And I think there's a lot of questions about how they're going to factor in without sort of subsuming that identity that they had built as an individual research institution in the years leading up to now.
Wow. Okay. Well, quite a transition for the University of New Orleans, which is now officially LSU New Orleans. And with that research component, that will take some getting used to. And I'm sure that the other entities, research entities that you mentioned, will have some getting used to as well. Has there been a leader identified for the system that would be over all of these research entities, or are all of those leaders of the different research entities going to report to the provost?
Yeah, those reporting lines have changed so that they all report to Jim Dalton, who's serving as the chief academic officer over the entire LSU system.
Wow. That's a lot of direct reports.
Yeah.
For a lot of money. Well, I guess with the grouping together, it gets them closer to top 50. Then there is the matter of how the federal government proceeds, not just with LSU, but with universities across the nation, and what they will and won't support with research dollars. Have you heard much conversation about that new policy direction with the federal government and research as they, at the same time as they make changes at LSU?
Yes. So as the federal government is scaling back its higher education investment and obviously eliminating references to DEI, LSU has increasingly turned to industry to fund research. There have been quite a few multi-million-dollar announcements made where LSU will be partnering with titans of industry. For example, the Hyundai Steel factory that's been announced in Ascension Parish. LSU will be conducting joint research with that corporation going forward. So the university is increasingly pivoting to private sources of research funding and relying less, if it can, on federal spending.
What about their timeline? Has LSU established a timeline for when they would like to break the top 50 ranking?
Yeah, it's been floated that 3 to 4 years is when this goal could be completed.
3 to 4 years to go from 83 to the top 50. Wow. Okay. That I'm really interested in that strategic plan. I mean, and I'm saying this as someone who has done marketing and communications in higher education. So
for several institutions.
For several institutions,
not just, not just 2 years here or there.
Yeah, exactly. And I have been in a system structure before, so that's why this is actually pretty intriguing to me. Is there an indication of whether or not, in the course of all of this, I know that they have gotten rid of several DEI people. And for all intents and purposes, they have, quote unquote, gotten rid of the DEI, labels and structure. Do you have a sense of what the LSU system office is indicating as far as how they want to recruit students, where they want to recruit students for? Was any of that in this conversation?
Yeah, well, as a system, it's increasingly oriented toward out-of-state students and marketing that LSU brand to people who don't reside in Louisiana. So I think as part of the push to achieve more national research recognition, they're looking to pull students from other states, not just in the South, but all over the country, as they look to bring more people in. But the university is also looking to become more selective at the same time. So some of those in-state students who would have maybe formerly been able to attend the flagship campus won't be able to going forward as the university kind of makes its enrollment standards more stringent.
Okay, we got a call from the talk line about LSU. Good morning, James. You're on with Will Sutton, Eddie Francis, and Haley Miller.
Good morning, all.
Good morning.
Good morning.
So it sounds like, correct me if I'm wrong, if I'm hearing you correctly, they're getting ready to loosen the purse strings in an effort to get us academically in line with the Oklahomas, A&Ms, and Floridas.
Haley?
Yes, they're
Hello?
looking to allocate as much money toward faculty as possible, and so far that is coming at the expense of staff positions.
Okay. My question, why now and why not when the problem began or they noticed the problem before with the current administration? Because that's a little unfair.
You mean
I'm
the
sure
previous
those
administration or the
professors said that, hey, we need more money for this, and the state said there ain't no money for that. I'm gonna hang up and listen, but after this,
Okay, Lord's blessing.
how are you gonna stop a state institute from enrolling its state citizens? Thank you, and I'm gonna listen.
Okay. Haley?
Yeah, I mean, that's certainly been a concern reflected by people. The university is saying that for students who can't make it into that flagship campus, that those regional campuses in Alexandria and Shreveport, for example, are going to become more important and kind of the sites of quote unquote accessibility. And students who can't make it into the flagship would transfer out of those institutions after spending a year there.
Okay. Well, thank you so much for giving us some of your time, Haley. Appreciate your joining our WBOK family of listeners on the Good Morning Show. Eddie Francis and I have enjoyed having you on and digging into this a little bit more so we have a better understanding about what's happening. But it sounds like there will be more to come. So in case somebody wants to follow up and get with you, whether it's providing a tip or some context or whatever, how can people find you and reach out to you?
Yes, people can track my work on The Advocate and the Times-Picayune, NOLA.com. My email is haley.miller@theadvocate.com. So always ready to talk with people and listen to anybody's concerns.
Wonderful. Well, thank you so much, Haley. Lord's blessings and have a great day.
Thanks for having me.
Thank you, Haley.
All right.
Bye-bye.
We are going to a break. And when we come back, let's find out what's happening in New Orleans East. Big news yesterday, building on some other things that have been done in past years. New direction, looking for unity and significant change and development. It's 8:23 a.m. I know some folks want to call in, and I'm sure folks in New Orleans East want to hear what they might have missed yesterday, so we're going to bring some of that to you. But we should have time to take some calls about other things like what the congressman said, and we'll get to some more as well. Eddie Francis, what's that talk line number?
It is 504-582-9422, 504-582-9422.
This is WBOK, 12:30 a.m., what New Orleans is talking about.
All day long.
Good Thursday morning. I'm Daryl Forges with WDSU News, and here's your headlines. Indictment on pause. The standoff between Orleans Parish and the Attorney General drags on after Wednesday's scheduled arraignment was postponed. She's charged with 16 felony counts of malfeasance in office and intimidation, stemming from letters she sent in May to several New Orleans leaders involved in the clerk of court decision. All criminal court judges chose to recuse themselves from the case. This comes after the Louisiana Supreme Court granted an emergency stay in the case. A piece of jewelry is now at the forefront of the federal government's case against former Mayor LaToya Cantrell. A gold ring is claimed to have been a gift to Cantrell from former cop and bodyguard Jeffrey Vappy. Cantrell and Vappy were indicted last year on numerous charges, including conspiracy, wire fraud, and obstruction. The trial is set to begin on March of next year. And there's increased scrutiny surrounding the death investigation of Nolan Wells. The Mississippi college player was found dead on Horn Island, Mississippi, Monday morning after a 4th of July outing with friends. The Jackson County Sheriff's Office says that his friends left and claimed Nolan wanted to stay behind. The Cajun Navy helped in search efforts and say there's a lot of questions into Nolan's death. A local judge in the area, Ashley Cole, posted a statement on social media. She claims her son, Warren, was one of the friends with Nolan that day and that he is fully cooperating with investigators. Meantime, the Wells family is retaining civil rights attorney Benjamin Crump. I'm Daryl Forges.
Attention, WBOK listeners. Are you a fan of the station and want to show your support in style? Well, we've got some exciting news for you. Introducing the official WBOK merchandise, the perfect way to wear your love for the station. Whether you're a longtime listener or a new fan, we've got something for everyone. Head to WBOK1230.com now and grab your WBOK gear before it's gone. When you buy WBOK merch, you're not just getting quality items, you're supporting the station you love.
This is The Law and Your Legacy. I'm attorney Pete Hamilton.
I'm attorney Ryan Hamilton.
If you had $1 million, would you leave it to an 18-year-old?
Hopefully not, but that's exactly what can happen with a simple will. The money goes straight to your kids when they hit the legal age, no guardrails.
A trust lets you control when and how they receive their inheritance. You can set ages, milestones, or even make sure they finish school first.
Give them security, not a spending spree.
This is not legal advice. That's just a tip brought to you by Liberty Bank and Trust. For more information, go to libertybank.net or contact us at 504-915-5016.
Well, Saints of God, this is Pastor David Impartan Sr. coming to you over the airways of WBOK, your favorite host of Change Your Water, Change Your Mind. I want to invite you to our show every Saturday from 1 o'clock to 2 o'clock p.m. That's Change Your Water, Change Your Mind. I want you to invite your family and friends to a broadcast that's designed to change your life. The way you think, the way you act, and what you eat. We want you to tune in every Saturday at 1 o'clock, WBOK, 12:30 a.m. See you on Saturday.
This invitation goes out to all of us unworthy sinners who's been saved by the grace of God, where you and I are only made worthy by the blood of the Lamb and our Lord and Savior, Jesus Christ. We're FIJTC, Faithers in Jesus the Christ. My name is Mr. Rocky. You can tune in to WBOK, 12:30 a.m. Sunday mornings from 8:30 a.m. to 9 a.m. Hope to see you there.
This is Andronica Morris, host of Put Housing First. Join us every Tuesday at 12 o'clock where we will discuss how housing affects every aspect of our lives and what's necessary, what's needed to guarantee housing for all. Join us every Tuesday at 12 o'clock as we dig down deep onto the issues that affect all of us.
This is your news update for WBOK from WDSU. For all your news and weather, watch WDSU News, New Orleans' leader in live, local, late-breaking news. Today at noon and 4 p.m.
It's another warm and humid day across southeast Louisiana with highs climbing to the low 90s. Heat indices feeling warmer than that, 100 degrees plus. Thunderstorms are possible this afternoon, a 50% chance of seeing that rain and thunder. It doesn't mean we don't know, it means half of our viewing area will see the rain. Keep that rain jacket and umbrella handy. The same story is in place for tomorrow with higher rain chances this weekend and the beginning of the work week. With your WDSU First Warning Weather Forecast, I'm meteorologist Jordan West.
Good morning, wake up. The Good Morning Show. Good morning. On WBOK.
Good morning, New Orleans, and welcome back to the Good Morning Show. If you have already been tuning in since our 7 o'clock hour, Or perhaps you just tuned in the 702, 710, 712 range. And if you did, we just had a conversation with Haley Miller from the Advocate Times-Picayune, NOLA.com, looking at some significant changes that LSU is making under President Wade Rouse. And one of those key things is moving on from DEI and engagement and reallocating those positions to faculty and research, and combining research operations that are currently separate entities within the system, but not grouped together. So moving in the direction of grouping them together so that LSU can move from, what you say, number 83?
83 to 50 in 4 years.
Okay.
That's ambitious.
Well, as you know, it takes some institutions, when they decide to go to R1 just to be R1. Well, first of all, a bunch try to be R2.
Yeah.
And usually that takes some time. But LSU is already R1, so that's good. So they want to increase their ranking. But the ones that I'm familiar with, reaching for R2 usually takes 3 to 5 years if you're successful.
Yeah.
And then R1 is a whole another set of years to try to get that, because then you have to do so many things to reach that. And then if you're going to increase the ranking, 2, 3, 4 years just sounds
that is really ambitious. And I mean I'm being, you know, I'm being a bit facetious when I say this, but I wonder if they got the blessing of the governor on this. You know, I mean, I wonder.
Well, they sure better.
I mean, I wonder. Well, because he wants to be all of the university's business, and he is preoccupied with football, and you know, so I just wonder how all of this comes into the mix. And then now the positive side of this is that this addresses something that has been a longstanding concern of mine, and that is what are we doing in higher education as a state to really inspire a brain gain? Although I have to say that if they're that serious, if they're that serious about research, and I really wish we had time, because I thought about this actually toward the end of the conversation. But if they're that serious about research, I wonder what this is going to do also as far as attracting international students.
Yeah.
Because you have a couple of things fighting here. You have a White House that has told you that they are quote unquote against, you know, immigrants. And so there's that problem. Immigrants are having all kinds of problems getting into the country. They're having problems staying in the country. God forbid if the immigrant skin is brown, you know, that doubles the problem. Well, no, I'm sorry. The brown skinned immigrants are the problem. The lighter skinned immigrants aren't a problem. But but that, you know, that is the thing that really, that to me, if you're going to be a powerhouse in research, and I imagine what they're trying to do. The caller call in and ask about Oklahoma, Florida. I mean, they're trying to catch up also with Michigan, Ohio State. I mean, they're trying to catch up with some, you know,
the big boys in research.
California. They're trying to catch up with some big boys out there. And if they're going to try to do that, then they have to think about a strategy that is going to be a global strategy. And that is what it's going to take. To me, that's the positive side of this as far as attracting talent to Louisiana. And I know it sounds really ugly to say the students who can't make it at LSU, they'll have their shot at LSU Shreveport, LSU Alexandria, LSU New Orleans, you know, some of them LSU Eunice, they'll have to go there. But that's not as bad as it sounds. I don't think it is as bad as it sounds, because they could transfer out of the Baton Rouge campus and transfer back into the into the, so that could happen. But the other part of this, as far as wanting to be a research powerhouse and attract this talent, is now they have to contend with the changes made in financial aid. And so
Good point.
what that means is LSU becoming more expensive too. So if LSU is going to become a more expensive institution to get into, you want to be a research powerhouse, you want to attract the most talented students you can. And again, this is not a national strategy. This is a global strategy. They want to attract these students. They're going to be fighting with the federal government over the FAFSA changes, over the federal financial aid changes. And I hope that they are ready for that fight, because what that means is that they're going to be fighting with the governor's friend in D.C. So that's why, to me, that's why I snickered during the interview about this idea of theirs. I'm all for it, but honestly, the politics don't line up with the ambition. They just don't. And so yeah, I good luck. Good luck to LSU.
All righty. Well, we had some big news yesterday. Mayor Helena Moreno gathered with a number of elected leaders and business folks and community folks yesterday to announce a new ramped up effort to attract business and jobs to New Orleans East. And so we're going to hear a bit from the mayor, and let's talk about what this effort looks like in New Orleans East, and we'll see what she has to say, and then we'll talk about that in a minute. So we're looking to hear from Mayor Helena Moreno on New Orleans East.
Two major corridors in this initiative. The first we're calling the Michoud Innovation Corridor, and it will build on the strength and excitement of Artemis, of NASA Michoud, and surrounding industrial assets to attract aerospace, advanced manufacturing, research, technology, and innovation companies. The second corridor we are calling the Port and Logistics Corridor. We want to ensure that we are prepared to capitalize on the future Louisiana International Terminal and New Orleans East's unmatched transportation network to attract maritime industries, logistics, warehousing, distribution, and supply chain investments. Now, these corridors and the success of these corridors will be transformational for all of New Orleans East, because together these corridors will create jobs, attract private investment, and generate economic activity. And that means that new restaurants, retail, neighborhood services, and small businesses throughout New Orleans East will be necessary to support this level of new activity. And today I also want to say that we're just not announcing this vision. We are also announcing action, and some action that has already started. First, we're launching a development-ready sites plan. We'll identify strategic public and private-owned properties, evaluate utilities. We'll look at the roads, the drainage, the lighting, the public safety, and zoning, and prepare development-ready sites so New Orleans East is prepared when companies are ready to invest. This work also complements the legislature's newly created East Task Force, and we look forward to partnering with Representative Dana Henry, who authored this legislation, to remove barriers that have prevented redevelopment for far too long. We're also already looking for new funding opportunities. Together with Entergy New Orleans, the City of New Orleans and Entergy New Orleans have applied for a $20 million U.S. Economic Development Administration grant to help fund utility infrastructure improvements along the Port and Logistics Corridor, ensuring critical infrastructure is in place, but not at the burden of ratepayers, burdening them with any additional costs. Second, we're partnering with GNO Inc., thank you, Michael, to aggressively recruit businesses and invest into these corridors. Together, we'll market development-ready sites, recruit employers, engage developers and site selectors, pursue catalytic development opportunities, and build partnerships that bring more companies, more investment, and more jobs to New Orleans East. This effort will only succeed if it's built as a true partnership with residents, neighborhood organizations, businesses, educational institutions, and the many advocates, many of you all who are here, who have never stopped at believing in New Orleans East, including ENONAG, New Orleans East Matters, Councilmember Jason Hughes, Representative Dana Henry, Senators Bartholomew and Harris, Delgado, and of course our New Orleans East business community. And I just want to emphasize again that as these corridors grow, they won't just bring major employers. They'll create the customer base that supports new restaurants, grocery stores, retail, hotels, neighborhood services, and small businesses throughout New Orleans East. We are no longer waiting for opportunity to come and find New Orleans East. We are preparing for it and making sure that this will be the desired site. We are preparing New Orleans East to compete and win the jobs, industries, and investments that will define its next generation of success. Thank you.
All right. Well, the mayor of New Orleans putting a concentrated effort, a unified effort in New Orleans East to attract business, to get the infrastructure in place, and to attract jobs. And as a part of that, the city of New Orleans, working with Entergy New Orleans, to apply for a $20 million U.S. Economic Development Administration grant to help with the funding of utility improvements in New Orleans East. One of the things that I think we forget about sometimes is businesses need certain infrastructure. So you can't see a plot of land and have no sewage and water availability.
Right.
You can't see
Yeah.
a plot of land and not have paved streets.
Mm-hmm.
You can't have a plot of land and it's zoned this way, and you need to be zoned this way if you're going to put a building of a certain size. And energy is a part of that.
Mm-hmm.
And energy, as we know, is very expensive.
Mm-hmm.
So I happy to hear about the $25 million grant pursuit.
Right.
Doesn't mean there's $20 million coming.
Mm-hmm.
And then that's a grant. So will the project cost $20 million, or is this $20 million of a $45 million project? And then where is that money going to come from?
I mean, that sounds like a small number. Actually, that's a pretty. It's a start. I'll put it to you that way. It's 25 million if the city can get it. That sounds like a start. Mm-hmm. But it's good to hear. It's good to hear coming from a city level that there is some commitment to at least taking a big swing for New Orleans East and for making a big investment that hopefully sparks smaller investments and sparks small business and gets people confident in the East again. From an overall standpoint, the people in the East are confident in the East, but
have been for a long time.
And have been for a long time. But I'm talking about other folks being confident,
That's right.
being confident in the East,
Absolutely.
so that there's more investment in the East. So at least there's that, and hopefully that's something that folks can work with, and that they feel is a good starting point. So I hope the residents, the folks who attended, feel that that's at least a reasonable starting point to really spark some growth in the East.
All right. Well, we're going to continue along that line. And Don, don't give up on us. We see you. We're going to get you on. It's 8:44 a.m. and it's time for our break. I'm Will Sutton, and in conversation with Eddie Francis, we just heard from the mayor of New Orleans talking about the big movement to improve New Orleans East. It doesn't mean everything's going to start in the next day or two, the next few weeks, or the next few months. But it's an ambitious effort, and it was nice to see people from different levels of business and community together, all in together to say this is something we plan to see happen. So right now we're going to go to break, and I know Don's on the line, but we might have some others available before we get off. Eddie, what's that talk line number?
504-582-9422, 504-582-9422.
This is WBOK, 1230 a.m., what New Orleans is talking about all day long.
It's Off the Top with Norman Robinson on WBOK 1230 AM.
As America celebrates our 250th birthday, I continue to reflect not only on where we are, but how we got here. Like millions of Americans, I am deeply proud of this nation. Make no mistake about it, I am proud to be an African American, and I am equally proud to be an American. And those two identities are not in conflict. They strengthen one another. Yet I worry that the story being told about our nation's founding has become too narrow, a move by some to erase or whitewash our history. It sometimes suggests that the birth of American freedom belonged to only one people, one culture, or one experience. History tells us something far richer and far more diverse. From the earliest days of the struggle for independence, African Americans, indigenous people, and immigrants stood beside the colonists in the fight for liberty. Some fought as freemen, others fought while still enslaved, believing that the ideals proclaimed in 1776 would one day include all of us. Historian Henry Louis Gates Jr. has documented the indispensable role of people of African descent played in the Revolutionary era. Retired Lieutenant General Russell Honore has likewise reminded audiences that the Continental Army drew strength from people of many backgrounds. That truth should not make any American uncomfortable. It should make every American proud. Because the foundation of this republic was never built by one race alone. It was built by people of different colors, cultures, languages, and faiths who shared a common belief that freedom was worth fighting for. America's strength has never come from uniformity. It has come from people of different races, cultures, and faiths choosing to build one nation together. That is our history, that is our promise, and that is the America worth celebrating. This is Norman Robinson, Off the Top.
Real issues, real talk, real solutions. Miss an episode of The Reality Check? You can catch every episode anytime. Search WBOK Media on your favorite podcast app to tap the bold commentary, real-time reactions, and powerful perspectives from the people and leaders shaping our city. Download, share, and rate it 5 stars because the real ones always stay informed.
We are the rhythm of the streets.
The flavor in every dish.
The story in every song.
We are New Orleans Tourism and Cultural Foundation.
We help artists build the future of New Orleans.
Because when the culture thrives, our people thrive.
Every note, every brushstroke, every dish is a door opening new possibilities for those who carry our traditions forward. And when we open that door, the whole city moves forward. For New Orleans Tourism and Cultural Foundation, culture is our open door.
Climate Hope NOLA presents this month's climate keyword, adaptation. Climate adaptation means preparing our communities for stronger storms, hotter days, flooding, and rising water. That means planting trees, restoring wetlands, protecting homes, and helping families recover stronger after disasters. In New Orleans, resilience is part of who we are and how we survive. Learn more, stay informed, and take action with Climate Hope NOLA. Visit Team Hope NOLA on Instagram to learn more.
Good morning, wake up. The Good Morning Show. Good morning. On WBOK.
Good morning, good morning, good morning, good morning, New Orleans, and welcome back to the Good Morning Show. I'm Will Sutton here with Eddie Francis. We're talking about New Orleans East and the new effort talked about yesterday with New Orleans Mayor Elena Moreno, and others. Good to see. We're going to go to Talk Line and see what Don has to say. Good morning, Don. You're on with Will Sutton, Eddie Francis.
Yes, good morning.
Good morning. How are you, sir?
All right. Yeah. You know, Ward Manuel is from New Orleans, athletic director at University of Michigan. They just won their first men's basketball championship. A few years ago, they won the national championship in football. But when you talk about LSU and you talk about places like Texas, like in Texas, they have the endowment, the Permanent University Fund. That's been signed in 1876 between University of Texas and Texas A&M system. They get the revenue from all leases and grazing lands, and they put it in an enormous endowment. You know, Texas and Texas A&M endowments rivals Harvard and Yale and all those big endowment institutions. Now, a few years ago, we voted on the Texas University Fund. That fund, that's an endowment, $4 billion initially, to help research universities like University of Houston, Texas State, Texas Tech, and North Texas University. So they did that with the surplus budget. Now, Louisiana had a $2 billion surplus budget under the John Bell Edwards. What did y'all do with the money? What y'all voted on? Did y'all have a chance to vote on what y'all want to do with the surplus? Did y'all want to strengthen the endowments of your universities so they can recruit and offer more financial aid to some? That's the big thing going right now. A lot of these Harvards and these Yales and Tufts, all these people with these enormous endowments are not doing enough with their endowments for first-generation college students who can afford to pay $70,000 a year. And so what happened was another thing I want to say quickly is public universities, like, for instance, the University of North Carolina, Chapel Hill, the main flagship in North Carolina. You know who their chancellor is now for the last couple of years? A private equity manager, Lee Roberts. You know what private equity managers do with companies? They drain the benefits and they leave the shell of a company. So what I'm saying is Louisiana has, I hit a mayor, Louisiana has natural resources, oil and gas. Louisiana is nowhere near a poor economic state. It has been poorly managed. For years, Senator Mary Landrieu tried to get the royalty payments for oil and gas to be commensurate with those that's inland. And so when you talk about all these great grand plans, it's the chicken and the egg. It starts at the grassroots. You have to have a solid K through 12 educational system, invest in high quality education, early childhood education, and you go from there. You have to grow your talent. You can't acquire talent all the time because other people are going to outbid you or use different metrics. You grow your talent. And a lot of talent that's grown in New Orleans and Louisiana, go circle back to Ward Manuel, is being recruited to other places. And so what's the incentive to raise your family and have roots in Louisiana when other people see the investment? They're not stupid. They see the investment. They see the incentives. They see high quality cost of living wages, and they see they can make they're willing to make the investment of their time and talent and their families. But where's the partnership from the state and the government and industries? All this research is about commercializing the patents and the research. Who are you going to commercialize it to?
Well, you got some points there, Don. You got some points there. We're going to see what Ben has to add, and as we pivot to New Orleans East. Lord's blessings, sir. Thanks for calling.
Thank you, sir.
Thank you.
Okay. Good morning, Ben. You're on with Will Sutton and Eddie Francis. You have something about New Orleans East?
Yeah. Hey, Will and Eddie. Hey, listen. You know, the problem, as far as I see it, is that the problem with the East is it's a high crime area, and unfortunately, the city has allowed it to be taken over by hookers and drug dealers. And as long as you have that going on, as long as you have that perception,
Jesus,
there's going to be very little. Well, I mean, you all didn't talk about it, but I mean, it's very well known. Companies are not going to want to invest there. I mean, for example, there has very little police coverage in the East. I had a friend of mine used to live in the East, and somebody was breaking into his house. Do you know he made it from Kenner to his house before the New Orleans police did? And so as long as you have that going on, where you have these hotels out there that cater to prostitution and drug dealing, and you have ladies walking up and down, chef, selling it. What company is going to want to invest money in that?
Well, thanks for the solution, man. Good job.
Okay. All right. Lord's blessings,
Sure.
sir. Thank you for calling.
You know what?
All right.
He just wasted some valuable airtime with that foolishness, man.
Well, we know that there are a number of places in the city of New Orleans that have crime, and a number of places that have some higher crime. And New Orleans East is a large part of the city with a variety of neighborhoods. So I can point to neighborhoods in Mid-City and Treme, Uptown, that have ongoing crime issues. And yes, New Orleans East has some neighborhoods like that. They have a number of other neighborhoods that don't. Look, we're going to be wrapping up here and getting out of the way to make room for the front porch. After that, we're going to have Tavis Smiley. And then after that, we're going to have none other than the G-Man with the reality check. And that is Gerard Stevens. We thank you all for spending some of your morning with us here on the Good Morning Show. Tomorrow is Friday, and Lord willing, I'll be back tomorrow. And how about you, Eddie? You coming back?
I will be back, and if Ben calls tomorrow, he does not get on the air.
Tell us how you really feel.
I haven't said it yet, but you know, I would like us to keep our FCC license. So.
Yeah, right. Okay. All right, folks. This is going to do it for us. This is WBOK 1230 AM. What New Orleans is talking about
all day long.